Yo, what's up, guys? What it do? What it do? So, I did a thing the other day. It's warming already. Um, Nothing new. Still trying to finish up the few projects I got going. But I kept talking about going to the studio to finish recording the voiceovers I needed for my TV show. So I actually got that done. So that's one project scratched off the list.
Channel 18, or to all of them at the same time if you wanted to. Or just record on one of these little. Okay, there you are. See, I had isolated everyone in a separate folder and put all the shots in each one, 2 camera close-ups, the 1 camera wide shot.
Let me do something real quick.
Okay, there you are. See, I had isolated everyone in a separate folder and put all the shots in each one, 2 camera close-ups, the 1 camera wide shot. We're never gonna have to do it like this again because we're gonna have all 3 cameras online, live, audio into the mixer, mixer into the switcher, and it can all go live to YouTube or to Facebook or to Comcast Channel 18, or to all of them at the same time if you wanted to. Or just record on one of these little cards. It's amazing. 20 updates, boy am I falling behind. Okay, so we have you. Let's drag it, eject. Clear code.
I'll be speaking with Dino DeNaples. Dino is a local business owner and photographer. His ability to take everyday, mundane artifacts and capture them on a larger-than-life scale is impressive, to say the least.
The first one is the best, too.
Oh, you can edit them.
Yeah.
Today on Electric City Television's Roundtable Discussions, we'll be speaking with Joe Pluck. Joe is a masterful artist in his own right. He studied at Marywood University and is highly tools in the play of light and shadow.
You know, there's enhancers. There's like a male enhancer It says
He's got
vocal
an
enhancer, male, female.
Right.
And then there's de-esser,
Yeah.
which takes, so you can run through those filters and try it on and off, turn it on, turn it off.
But he sounds good. He
Sounds great.
because he's got a little bit of bass in his. You hear the bass coming.
It's that mic.
Today on
Yeah.
Electric City Television's Roundtable Discussions, we'll be speaking
Hear
with
that
Richard
bass?
Huck. Richard is an artist and educator. He's a longtime board member of AFA and a signature member of the Colored Pencil Society of America. We'll be taking a look at some of his photorealistic colored pencil drawings. Today on Electric City Television's Roundtable Discussions, we'll be speaking with Melissa Short. Melissa is a musician and a painter who works in oils. This talented young lady has a condition known as synesthesia, which allows her to see sound as color, giving her art a distinct quality.
Synesthesia, I knew that name. It's Ted.
Owner
I didn't do
of
anything.
Northeast
This is just
Art
raw
Project
files.
And the co-owner of Electric City Escape. Take two. On this episode of Electric City Television's Roundtable Discussions, we'll be speaking with Joy Zabata. Joy is a creative who captivates the abstract and brings it to life through vibrant expression. Her favorite mediums to work with are acrylic, clay, and oil. You hear the dog licking or not? On this episode of Electric City's Roundtable Discussions, we'll be speaking with Joy Zabata. On this episode of Electric City Television's Roundtable Discussions, we'll be speaking with Joy Zabata. Joy is a creative who captivates the abstract and brings it to life through vibrant expressions. Her favorite mediums to work with are clay, acrylic, and oils. On this episode of Electric City's Roundtable Discussions, we'll be speaking with Ted Scazafablo. Ted is a digital artist using photography and acrylic paint on canvas to explore chaos and order.
I think that's it.
So yeah, so all the episodes are recorded. The opening scene is recorded. The credits are done because it's so few people who worked on this project. And now the introduction voiceovers are done. And that's it. So we have all the video footage we need. We have all the audio footage we need. And now it's down to editing. And once we get this thing edited up, it's gonna be on TV, son.
Yeah, we did them all.
This is gonna be on TV.
Take a look what's going on with Richard. I think the third camera wasn't running on Richard. I don't like the fact that it's giving me.
Later on in your
We're like
high school and college career,
3 minutes in.
what are some of your main impressions from your main inspirations outside?
This is the only one where you were a little hot and
Shiny,
sweaty.
yeah.
This is the only one.
Family support.
They got me art lessons when I was young. And I found out later on that the teacher who actually designed the crown.
Is this what you're talking about? This is chicken and broth? I know what you're talking about. You got like 20 things in there.
Yeah.
This is it?
Yeah.
Mix it with the rice.
I heat it for 22 seconds.
The cat one from Europe. Because there had to be 3 dozen cats walking around. And I was 8. You know, so I was
Let me see something. What if I because I don't hardly ever do this. I turn the brightness down some. Is that easier to see? No, not really. Where the fuck did the sound go?
exactly what she wanted me to do, which was basically just copy a photo. Or,
Okay, that's the chit-chatty stuff.
So what do? I become a teacher. And I spent 40 years doing just exactly what I never thought I would be doing.
Wow, 40 years as an educator.
As an educator.
From my experience,
We hear your experience.
my middle school art teacher was fresh out of college. The first year I was in middle school was her first year teaching. And I always attribute this to teachers like you who have a real passion and a real love for art, on top of having a real passion and a love to educate the kids. And it's individuals like you that, like you say, help young artists continue to prosper and grow and develop and even become art teachers themselves. And I always find that fascinating, that people like you give so much of your life and dedicate so much of your life and time to inspiring and helping others.
Yeah, there's a lot of time involved. I've had a lot of great students over the years, you know, and the nice thing is that I've stayed in contact with a lot of them via Facebook.
Okay. Let's see where. All right, we're 16 minutes in. I think you're still chatting. Oh, he's talking about his work. Okay.
Very, very photorealistic. I mean, just the mix.
So this is what I've been doing for most of the year.
So this is the basement. That's our address, 317 Linden, basement. That's good. That's good. Space. What? Is this great? Oh, snap! So these are real lights. These are Fresnel lights. This is what I am from the world of Fresnel lighting, like the real deal.
Yeah.
TV studios that I worked in New York City all had about 20 or 30 of these. The University of Scranton was throwing them out, and they gave me all 32 of their lights. You can't beat it. And Don said I could hang them right off of these beams. So like I could put the backlight up there on that beam, and come in, and the backlight on that beam and come in.
Yo, we got the first season of the show recorded. We're about to move into a new studio, like a legit studio, man. This shit is about to be so lit, yo. You don't even know, son. About to be a motherfucking TV star.
All right, so. Where did you put it?
The card is here.
Oh.
Here, have a seat.
Yo, my man, the real deal too. Like, yo, back in the day, he worked for NBC as a cameraman. He was in the music industry doing like he recorded Donna Summers and a couple other like disco pop stars back in the day. Man, yo, like my man is legit. Yo, the cameraman, he totally legit. Yo, the show gonna look good. And his wife is a sound lady, so she's doing a lot of the sound and a lot of the editing. She's dope on that part. Yo, this shit gonna look so professional. So good. We might try to shop this shit off to some other fucking to some other networks and shit. Cause our shit is too legit. Yo, thanks, bro. Like this shit, it's a slow process. It's been a slow process. And I talk about it a lot. Like in the beginning, honestly, I didn't even want to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? My man kind of coaxed me into doing this shit. Cause he just kept saying, he said that shit like 3 times before I was like, all right, man, let's just do it. And then I thought like, do that shit one time and it'd go all mishap and array, and it wouldn't be fun and shit like that. But we did the first show, and that shit was fun as hell. We did the next show, and the next show, I was like, okay, we got a show now. And it's, like I said, I ain't really... I don't feel like I'm doing no work, man. like I say, he got all the connections to the TV stations and all that shit. He got all the equipment, and he doing the recording, and his girl doing the editing and shit. It's like, I'm just talking, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know, like they really into what they do, yo, and they've been doing this shit for years, so it's fun to them, I would imagine. Like I say, he the one who got me to do the damn show. So I think it's like so enjoyable to them that it's not like work for them either. You know what I'm saying? They just doing what they like to do, keep them busy and shit. And goddamn, like when I host the show and shit, it's like, damn, my stomach growling, I'm hungry as shit. But when I do the shows, it's not like I'm working. I mean, I gotta be somewhere at a certain time, and I feel like I need to dress a certain way. But shit don't feel like work. I'm just about to go sit down and talk with somebody about some art for a minute, yo. So that shit just fun to me, yo. And everybody just doing this shit because they just want to do that shit. But it looks so good, like, the show looks so good and it sounds so good, like, we got to get paid off of this shit, yo, some kind of way, yo. We got to make a little bit of money, just something. I don't care if it's just some pennies or something, man. But, like, that shit too damn good. I'm going to ask for a grant, yo, at the first of the year, because I wrote a grant. I got to see if this other grant going to come through first. But you can write a grant once a year. So I already wrote the grant this year, but the first of the year, I'm going to write another grant to the same organization and be like, yo, I need some more money. They going to be like, what for? Yo, for my TV show. What TV show? And by then, I should just have a package to give to them. Like, for this show right here, y'all need to put some money behind it so we can get paid and we can have funds for better equipment and better guests. Not better guests, but more guests. And just to make the show look even better. Because the shit look professional right now. But I know if we had a couple dollars, man. And if my homie say, man, he get shit. He know people, yo. So the university, they upgraded the university got a theater or whatever, and they upgraded their lighting system, and they got all new lights, and they were going to throw away their old lighting system. He caught wind of that. He was like, nah, let me have that shit. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like getting shit secondhand, we can get the newer shit just like the university got now, instead of getting their old shit. But if we had a budget and resources, the show can be like fucking top notch. What show? My show, nigga. My show. What? I'm about to be a TV star. Y'all, hey, I'm about to be up off of YouTube in a minute, bruh. I'm about to be up off of YouTube in a minute. Well, the show gonna be on local access and on YouTube and on some other streaming shit, but it's gonna get bigger than YouTube, man. Word up. This is about to be on in Papio 2020. And I had got I had motherfucking I can't even think of the network now. Oh, Viceland. Y'all ever heard of that channel, yo? Viceland TV? They got a bunch of weird shows on there, yo. But like a couple years ago, yo, some A&R from Viceland motherfucking contacted me saying, "Oh, I came across your YouTube channel. Uh, Viceland is trying to get our kind of art show on there." And she sent me this whole email of the whole premise of the show and everything and how they want it structured and set up. And they was gonna call it like the Hip Hop Bob Ross and all kind of shit, man. And I did a motherfucking I did an interview. I did a Skype interview with them. But I don't think they like my personality. And then honestly, I wasn't really ever watching Viceland like that. But like once I got the first interview notification, y'all, I was like, let me see what the fuck they air on their network. And they got like a bunch of weed shows and beer shows and food shows, and they had these two cats, Desus and Miro or something, and they had like a late night talk show. But during my interview, I'm just used to the standard like get a job interview. You got to be prim and proper, and I'm just trying to talk professional and shit. And I think they didn't really want that. They wanted me, like now, saying fuck that shit, that art is bullshit or whatever, man. They just I guess I tried to conform too much to the standard interview procedures or whatever. And so after the interview, they gave me a contract to sign, and it was like it was called a holding agreement, where basically it said we are interested in you, um, and we're gonna think about it, but while we think about it, you can't sign with any other network or any other cable company or anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just stick with us until we figure out what we're gonna do, and don't sign with anybody else. And so, BET, they weren't, basically knocking at my door. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I signed that shit, and the holding agreement was for 1 year. And after I signed the holding agreement, like, that was it. I just never heard back from them. Like, maybe like 3 or 4 months after I signed that shit, I emailed them like, yo, it was good. Uh, did y'all find a host for the show, or are y'all still thinking about, you know, going through with this thing or whatever? And didn't get a response. And then about another 3 or 4 months after that, I emailed basically the same thing again, and never got a response. And it was like, all right, fuck that. But this right here is gonna be the Travis Prince Electric City Television Roundtable Talk Show. Stick to painting. I'm good with the painting. That's why I got an art show. I'm not trying to make a dance show or a motherfucking cooking show or none of that shit. I got an art show. We're gonna sit around and talk about what I know about painting and art and shit. I'm staying in my lane, bro. I ain't going straight too far. You know what I'm saying? The hip hop Bob Ross over this thing. My show gonna be lit, son. I was showing some clips from been here almost 30 minutes. I was showing some clips from earlier, well, a couple of days ago. I finally finished wrapping up all my voiceovers and shit.
Is co-owner of Electric City Escape. Take two. On this episode of Electric City Television's Roundtable Discussions, we'll be speaking with Joy Zabata. Joy is a creative who captivates the abstract and brings it to life through vibrant expression. Her favorite mediums to work with are acrylic, clay, and oil. You hear the dog licking or not? On this episode of Electric City's Roundtable Discussions, we'll be speaking with Joy Zabata. On this episode of Electric City Television's Roundtable Discussions, we'll be speaking with Joy Zabata. Joy is a creative who captivates the abstract and brings it to life through vibrant expressions. Her favorite mediums to work with are clay, acrylic, and oils. On this episode of Electric City's Round...
And so I had to do that for every episode, for every guest. So we're gonna play the same opening scene, and how the opening scene comes in, and you see all the different artists, and then at the end it's me. But I told him, like, yo, you gotta like distinguish me from the rest of the people. Like, you gotta put host and your host, Travis Prince, or host or something like that. You got to change the graphics up to make it distinguish me from everybody else. But anyway, he said that's just some simple, real quick shit. He's like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. But so the opening credits are going to play, and then right before that opening shot is done, and the music in there, like, fade the music out a little bit, and then they'll splice in those voiceovers I did that on this episode of Electric City's Roundtable Discussions we'll be speaking with. And then the cutscene to end, and then boom, we'll fade in, fade out, or however they're gonna do it to bring in the actual show itself. And then we have a little scene credits. Regular show, son. A regular 30-minute show. I'm feeling kind of proud of myself right now. You know? That shit gonna be hot. Even if we just do like 1 or 2 seasons and just I don't know, 15 or 20 episodes of that shit, I'll still have that on my art resume. I actually hosted a talk show about art. Wah! And then I could have swore I told more people about it, but I was telling somebody that, oh, I was talking about the show, and it was like, you got a show? I'm like, yeah, just like you said, like, what kind of show? I'm like, yeah, it's just an art show. And even my mentor told me he did one back in the day. And when I met him, I don't think he was currently doing the show, but no, I think he had already stopped, because he said he even was speaking in the past tense. But I wonder if that's on YouTube. Let me see. Yo, this is my mentor, yo. It's crazy. His show is still up here. Artscape with host Bill Harris.
Welcome to Artscape. I'm your host, Bill Harris, and we have a great show for you today. With me today is local artist Tracy Clark. Tracy, thanks for being here.
Wow, thanks for having me.
So before we get into your amazing, amazing paintings, which I love, let's learn a little bit about you. You're not from this area, right?
No, I grew up in the Tidewater area, so pretty close.
Okay. Tell us sort of your early beginnings in art. I know I read on your website that you carried around a little binder of horses when you were little.
I
So.
did.
Yo, that's my mentor, yo.
Horses,
Not the lady, the dude.
So I would get books from the library and then take them home and copy them.
How old would you be?
6 or 7, 8.
Wow.
Yeah. So singularly focused on horses at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 6, 7, 8, you're drawing horses, always in art through middle, high school.
Yeah, pretty much. It wasn't until I got into high school that I had a great art teacher who really encouraged me. She saw something in me and really encouraged me to pursue art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after high school, you then go to
Atlanta College of Art.
Atlanta College of Art.
Right.
And how was that?
It was great. It was a good experience.
Yeah.
It was, equally kind of difficult and good at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now at this point.
Let me see when this was published. Because that's my mentor. And I watched these episodes when he told me, but that was, let me see. I came up here in 2012. That's like 8 years ago? Wow. I know my man for a long time, yo. So I'm hey, well, sending my friend a picture, friend coworker, but me and my coworkers went out for a breakfast this morning for a gift exchange. And I don't celebrate holidays, and so I wasn't a part of the gift exchange thing. But it was like, oh, you should still come have breakfast with us. And I'm like, hey, I'll come eat. There's food. It's cool. It's cool and gravy. But, you know, exchanging, I'm not really into like exchanging gifts and all that stuff. So, now I'm getting text messages. I just was in a group text from work. Now, what I was saying? Oh yeah, I went to breakfast this morning. It was a good time, and I took a picture of my coworkers, and like some of them were friends on Facebook, and then one of them just texted me. She was like, "Are you gonna post that picture from breakfast?" I'm like, "No." Like, do you want it? I'll send it to you. You can post it. And then one of our other coworkers just texted me, and they were like, "The girl who's asking for the picture, it's this is her 10th year working for the organization, and we have another brunch coming up on Friday, and she's gonna." But yeah, they're gonna like acknowledge her 10 years. All right. All right, so let's work on some art. I love my job, yo. Get to chill, get paid for going to breakfast and brunches, and I dress like this at work. It's like, that's what the fuck I wear to work, yo. Yo, my job is so chill, and everybody is so fucking cool. Well, the people I fuck with are cool as shit. I don't fuck with everybody because everybody don't really. Everybody like we have like different departments and shit. But I fuck with everybody in my department. No, not the decan. Why? Why? You know how much I dislike drafting? Drafting is so difficult. Oh my jeez. Alright, okay, alright. Oh, were we listening to something on YouTube?
Still interested in horses and animals or all different things?
No, it's pretty academic at that point. I
Yeah.
didn't really have a set focus of.
So do you think also at this point, you know you're gonna be an artist, like, or do you think,
Hopefully,
yeah?
yeah.
I mean, was that, this is the end game here, this was what you wanted to be?
This is what I wanted to do.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So what happens then? You graduate college?
I left school and, didn't do art. I became a veterinary technician, did that for 10 years. And when I married Craig, my husband, he really encouraged me to leave my job and to do art full time.
That's sort of interesting that, as a little girl, you're drawing horses. You go to college, then you go into veterinary.
Right.
And now you draw animals. They're
Right.
always. So what is it about animals?
Animals to me are, that's a good question. They just have I think a presence about them and an otherness about them that I really will particularly prefer over painting the figure of people.
Yeah.
I've always just loved animals and been drawn to them. So.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you ever sway, go in to do any figure things, or landscapes or that kind of stuff?
Well, sometimes landscape. I like to do some abstract landscapes occasionally, but doing this work is really what I
Yeah,
like.
that's impressive though that you stuck with the animals,
Yeah.
all these years
Yeah.
from a little kid. Now, you have a home studio?
I do.
Yeah, how often do you paint?
Most
Lou,
days.
what it do?
Yeah, most days, every day?
Most days, every day, even if it's just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because we had talked earlier about your paintings, that they take quite a while.
They do.
How long does one of your average paintings take?
Oh, boy. It takes several months.
It's not that cold.
I also rotate.
It's 48.
Paintings sometimes at one time. And
A little bit of rain.
Starting that are,
It ain't that bad.
Right.
I was outside for a minute with no jacket on, this sweater.
Do anything other besides oils?
But we, like, 2 weeks ago we got snow. It was down, it was like 32 degrees, and then it dropped down to like 24 for a couple evenings, and then it came back up to like to the high 30s, and then yesterday and today it's been like almost 50 degrees. And what else? Wednesday 35, then 36, then back up to 45, back up to 51 on Saturday, and then back 40, 30, and 30. So.
Now, you paint every day? How many hours a day do you paint?
A maximum for me with this kind of work, because some of it's so detailed and tedious, 4
Yeah,
hours
so
is the maximum.
it's not too bad, but
Yeah.
old man Winter he just poking around right now. He gonna come out full swing in a little while.
Yes, yeah.
If you ain't ready for that shit, it's goddamn. Well, you get goddamn
Yeah.
We're gonna talk a little bit more about the paintings a little bit.
Yo, what up, D?
There's something
Man, we get fucking. You get a foot of snow like it ain't shit.
I get that a lot.
You know what I'm saying? You get a foot of snow like it ain't nothing. The middle of January all through February, March, even March it still be snowing, yo. But yo, January and February, foot of snow ain't shit. And then you'll be done packed up 3-4 feet of snow in a couple weeks, cause that shit don't fucking melt. You get a foot of snow, it's cold as shit. You go out there, shovel that shit, try to pack it on the side, or shovel the driveway and all that shit. And then 2 days later, you get another foot of snow. And the first snow ain't even gone yet. Now you gotta shovel this shit, try to pack this shit more. Like, what the fuck? Then next week, it snow again, another foot of snow. Like, goddamn, man, where the fuck you gonna put all the snow at, man? Ain't got no room for the snow now. Now you just got mountains of snow all on the sidewalk, all on the edge of people's houses and shit, man. Shit be looking crazy. And then that's how the cars up here get so fucked up too, man, because the cities come through with they fucking salt trucks and all that shit. Now the road got fucking salt water on it when you're driving and shit. All that salt water sticking to the bottom of your fucking car, just rusting the hell out that shit, yo. When the winter over, man, motherfuckers, like, even throughout the winter, you gotta go somewhere, man, and get the fucking, and spray, like, clean off the bottom of your car every once in a while, yo. You get that fucking salty ass snow ice, water ice on that shit, man. That shit'll rust your car out in a couple years, yo. That's why next time I buy a car, yo, I'm going straight down south. I'm buying my car from motherfucking Florida. From some old lady who don't go no way but to the grocery store and to play bingo. Car ain't never seen snow. She don't even know what snow feel like. I need a car like that. Telling you, man, that shit crazy. But like, just a harsh winter, people don't realize how many extra expenses that shit add on to you, yo, weekly, and annually if you don't get good shit, yo. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a good ass fucking snow shovel. You motherfucker get these bullshit snow shovels, man. Them shit don't last. Breaking up on you, chipping up and bending. Fuck that shit, man. Then you gotta get fucking rock salt. You gotta stack up on that shit before the real winter hit, because when real winter time come, that shit sold out everywhere. Now your front steps and your driveway ain't nothing but a fucking slick of ice, a big ass glacier, cause you ain't got no fucking salt to help melt your shit. Then you gotta think about the manpower just going out there doing that shit. You gotta get up. Your day gotta start an extra 30 minutes, 40 minutes earlier, cause you gotta shovel snow. You gotta clean your car off if you ain't got no fucking garage, which I don't. So I might I might invest in a carport or something. Man, my backyard big enough for a garage. That shit expensive though, man. I might have to save up for that shit. But I get a carport, just to save that trouble of fucking cleaning off your fucking car, yo. And then you gotta warm your car up. 'Cause in the wintertime up here, bro, January the 21st, man, you just ain't hopping in your car and driving nowhere, man. You an icicle in that bitch still. You gotta run outside, turn that bitch on, turn the heat on, and go back inside for like 10, 15 minutes, yo. Like, that shit get warm. Especially you got them leather seats, you done. Turn the seat warmers, turn all that shit on, man. And then, in certain areas, man, this they call this shit I live in one of the valley cities, man, because this shit, man, we in a valley, all these hills and shit, bro. In some parts of these towns right here, if you ain't got a truck with some 4-wheel drive, bro, you ain't going nowhere in the wintertime. Not if that shit get real bad. You ain't going nowhere just because your vehicle ain't gonna make it up a hill or down a hill. You stuck ass, bro. Telling you, hit that auto start button. Boom, 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 boom. Fuck that, man. I'm not trying to sit out here in this cold. That's crazy. The injustice of justice, man. This shit, I just read this post, yo. The father of Eric Holder, Nipsey Hussle's killer, has been murdered in Los Angeles. This makes the 4th family member of Holder's who has been murdered by the Rolling 60s Crips. Eric Holder's killing of Nipsey Hussle has handed down a death sentence to his whole family. Yo, they can't get that nigga, yo, they murdered everybody. His brother, his cousin, his baby mama, his daddy. All y'all gonna die. Everybody, y'all done. That's fucked up. The 4th family member. Tragedy. Gotta hit that auto start. I ain't got that shit on my computer. I gotta go outside. Crank that shit up. One of my cars so old, I got 2 keys for that motherfucker. You got a car you need 2 keys to operate? You remember that shit? What you need 2 keys for on the car, yo? I know Exile, no. That motherfucker done had a car with 2 keys. Yeah, bro. You gotta have one that open the door in the trunk. And then you gotta have a different key to start the ignition. I got motherfucking 2 keys on my shit, yo. Exactly. The key to open the car and to open the trunk and all that shit, that ain't the same key you start the car with. Now motherfuckers ain't got no keys. They just got a fob with a chip in it. You keep that shit in your pocket. You just press start when you get in the car. Ain't that crazy? Whatever. Oh, damn. my goddamn, my Monte Carlo, 1998, nigga. 1998 Monte Carlo, Chevy. All original factory, everything. I don't know. I'm lying. I do got the fucking the little radio and the speakers in there. Nah. Everything else. Yeah. Really, my shit is that Monte Carlo from Training Day, bruh. That fucking 69 or what that was, a 69 or a 70 Monte Carlo. Damn, them shit's pretty as fuck. Love that goddamn car. And the 78 Chevy Nova. My uncle had one of them shits, yo. I fell in love with that Chevy Nova, yo. If I ever find one of them shits, yo, I'm copping that shit. You know, fuck. And that, like I said, the old ass Monte Carlo. Yeah, that was that muscle shit, bro. And the lines and the curves on them shits, man. That shit look like a woman laying on her side. Yeah, that's when the first charges, them charges and all them shit started coming out around there. Oh yeah, yeah, that was a nice one. I like that shit. And one of my other ones was the like the 80, the Oldsmobile, the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, like a motherfucking 1980, 81 Cutlass Supreme. Boy, them shits look tough. Get that bitch with the T-top, some motherfucking white wall tires on that bitch. Everybody else be wanting them goddamn foreign cars. I want me a Mercedes. I want me a BMW. Then give me a motherfucking Chevy. I'll take a Chevy any day. I ain't never had a foreign car. I had a Pontiac. I had a Nissan. Well, Nissan is foreign. That Nissan was my first car. A little Nissan Stanza. And then I had a Pontiac. I had the Oldsmobile 88. Then I had damn, I did have a couple foreign cars. I had a motherfucking a 1990 Toyota Camry. Remember that shit? And I had a I can't think of the other John. I had some other car. Then I had another Oldsmobile, the Alero. And then no, before the Alero, I had another Chevy. Not the man. I always wanted the Impala, bro. I never had that shit. I got the Malibus, like when the Malibus was still looking nice. I had the Malibu. Then I had the Alero. And then I had the oh, that's where I'm at now. I got the my Monte Carlo. And then I got the Equinox. I've been keeping my cars for years, though. Like, I done had my Monte Carlo like 5-6 years. Only paid a couple $1,000 for that shit. It's a Chevy, man. That shit gonna run forever as long as you keep your fluids changed. Service that bitch like you need to. That bitch gonna run for a long time.
Used to manage my team with spreadsheets, it was a nightmare. And then we switched to Monday.com. Monday.com is a platform to track everything your team is working on. We use it for all our projects: marketing, product development, HR,
Okay, commercial.
To be that kind of person that I was constantly giving all of myself to everyone all the time. And that wore me down. That wore me down really badly to where I didn't know how to take care of myself.
Fuck.
And I've actually just
Man, I hate lines, bro.
started learning how to do that. And so I just ask that you consider
move
if
this shit.
you're throwing yourself in that mix and taking care of yourself as passionately as you take care of everyone else.
The other thing to mention is that, Mandy's is a good friend of mine. We've had her on the show before.
Mhm.
There is a Black Nonbelievers of Detroit.
The Black Nonbelievers of
For a
Detroit.
particular community specifically that relates to being African American. By all means, Black Nonbelievers of Detroit exists. I found their meetup just now. I was checking on my phone to see if
How you know this person black?
somebody could be, an atheist and happy. Well, Jen is happy. I'm happy. Does that mean we're happy all the time?
No.
Does that mean that we don't deal with stuff? No.
Bro,
And while you're going to talk about the things that you do,
we can get on some Red Dead tonight. Yep. 79 Impala. 85 Grand National. Yo, that 95 Impala SS, them bitches was nice. Yo, that shit was... That's the bubble, right? Let me see this Impala real quick. Yeah. Yo, motherfucker went $26,000 for that shit. Oh, that's a 96. But that's that bubble. Got that round body on there, boy. Yeah. Motherfuckers that throw some 24s on that bitch. Put your 215s in the trunk, some mirror tint. You know what I'm saying? Keep the AC cold. Good. You murder that shit out. Yeah. That was a good ass looking car, bro. I'm saying there's so many different things you can do to that shit, man. You ain't gotta rock a spoiler, or you can put a wing on the back of that shit, man. Motherfuckers doing crazy shit. Motherfuckers putting suicide doors on that shit, throw a wing on the back, change up the fucking lights and the grill on that shit, yo. Motherfuckers will put the skirt on the back tire sometimes. You can rock that shit with rims or white walls. And you can motherfucker how to chop the sunroof in that bitch, yo. And that shit a big ass family sedan, yo. Whoa. Yo. Only 55? Yo, that shit they never went nowhere. Yeah, on the low end they wanting 12. On the high end, this motherfucker want 31 for his shit. That's damn near a new car. I can go get me a Tesla for $31,000, bro. Motherfucker, they give me 31. This motherfucker want 21. He want 12. He want 12. Oh, this motherfucker ain't want but 6.5 for the 96. For how many miles on that shit though? It's not a lot. Not for a 96. That shit got 129,000 miles. That shit ain't got 130,000 miles on it yet. They want but 6 for it. That shit kind of beat up though. He ain't really take care of the body on that bitch. Yeah, even that, yo, like 6-7 grand, you can get a newer used car. You can get like a 09 or 010 for like 6 or 7 grand. But even now, like this fucking 96, you can't hardly get these bitches for that cheap, bro. Not unless they bust it. Oh damn. Damn, in 1 year. That's what I'm saying, bro. They have something from fucking 96. They only got 55K on it. Bro, that bitch ain't go no way, bro. They ain't drive that motherfucker car, man. I'm telling you. To the grocery store, to the post office, to church. That's it. That's it. Anything else, we driving the pickup truck. You're not going to church, don't drive that fucking car. You're not going downtown to the post office. And I put an ass miles on my fucking Alera when I had that shit, because I was living in Virginia, but I was working in Pennsylvania. I was doing that drive like once a week for a couple months. I did that shit for almost half a year. I was getting that bread though. Oh, but yo, let me go grab a bag. I forgot I had a bag downstairs. Alright. Got a couple cool new things. My name's Ken Kniff from Connecticut. You don't know me? Ken Kniff from Connecticut. So got us a on air sign. I don't know, but it's something. I don't know where the fuck to put this. I gotta figure out how to get a bulb in here and light this bad boy. But we'll work on that. Then got me a new art book. I still got plastic on it. You'll check this out later. The World of Folly by Hunt Sloman. New thick. Yo, this thing heavy too, man. It's a big book, but got an on-air sign. Got a new art book to look at. And AC Moore is going out of business. So they got everything for 25 to 50% off. Well, right now, I'm broke as shit. But at the same time, I can't pass a deal up on art supplies. So I had to go get something. You know? So, woo! Got me some new brushes. Some new liner brushes for like, oh, fuck you, Bristle. I just got you, brush. What's up, man? Got me some new real thin liner brushes for them high details. Got 3 of those. Never have enough of those. I got a big tube of she got 2 of these. I got a big tube of acrylic paint that I use for toning the canvases. You know how I paint them brown first? This is the color that I like to use. I ran out of that, so grabbed another tube of that. And I got some of these. This just sound like food for, I'll be wanting to say tortilla, but it's tortillions. And it's these little paper, these little cardboard things that you use to like smudge the drawings and make it blend or whatever. I don't know. They're kind of stupid, but it was on sale. It was on sale, man. So I got a pack of those. And then I got some cadmium orange. Love this color. I got some light red. Actually been substituting a different color for this Venetian red for a while, but I really do love the light red. Yo, what up, what up? How do I choose my paint brushes? I don't know. I've just used tons and tons of different brushes over the years, and the Princeton Select are my favorite brush to use. So, and they're pretty distinguishable because they have a teal color to them. But just I don't know. You got that. People like to paint different ways, yo. But the Princeton Selects, they seem to have the right flexibility to their bristles, I guess. I don't know, they're not too stiff, but they're not too soft either. And and price wise as well. I could definitely get like hella better brushes than this. But you know, you can spend fucking, I think these brushes are $6 or $7, and then on sale I think I got them for like $5 a piece or some shit. But you can get a really good brush made out of fucking camel hair like this, and a similar brush with a similar amount of bristles will probably cost you like $35 or $40 for one brush, where I can buy this one brush for $5. So, I mean, for their price, it's a really, really good quality. They hold up for, I mean, I try to take better care of my brushes, And the better care you take of them, of course, the longer you'll have them. But they are expensive. Even at $5 a pop, you don't want to constantly keep buying, spending $5 on fucking brushes all the time just because you're not taking care of them. But I've had some of my brushes for years that I still paint with. But those fine liners, I'm really shitty at taking care of those. And if you don't, they're the ones that mess up the easiest. Because once the bristles start to get frayed out, it's like you won't get that shit back how they ever were,
Specifically as it relates to religious indoctrination. There are things that I'm not happy about that have absolutely nothing to do with religion.
Right.
That's what life is. It's far more, I find it more baffling that somebody could say, I can't believe someone could be happy without God. It's like they don't understand, you could be happy with your tax refund, you can be happy with a movie, you can be happy with your partner, you can be happy with food, with other, it's like they think that there's this delirious joy without end that Jesus brings. Well, let me tell you, no matter what religion you're following, there are miserable people in your religion. No matter how much Mormons try to convince people that they should never present it in public, we all know that Mormons are in fact frequently miserable.
But that's the thing, is that when I was a kid, I was miserable. And I basically spent my whole life just trying to be happy. And so now I reached a point in my life where I've made so many changes, and I think I've grown so much that I finally achieved a level of happiness in general that I never thought was possible. Like, I never thought I could make it this far. I thought this would be like the last day of my life and then I'd die. But I am happy, but at the same time, that's the clouds are parting and it's exposing all of the trauma that I've been stuffing. And I wanted to bring it up because I know that I'm not alone in this. And just to kind of share a little bit of specific details, not to share too much, I'm one of 7 kids. It works for me. What do you think? It's like, no, this is the...
I hear natural family planning. The reverse is a departure from the norm, and I think it's far closer to our historical norm of viewing things. It's strange to me because I don't have any kids. I won't ever have any kids. And I just look at that as, if you apply that to everything in life, not just whether or not you wind up pregnant, where does that put you? Does that mean that every bad thing that happened to you is either something you deserved, if you're the type of religion that believes in karma, if when something bad happens to you, you deserved it, and perhaps not because of something you did in this life, but because of something you did in another life. Right. And when something bad happens to you, how do you interpret that? And what we have is, this is why I wrote this lengthy rebuttal to the Sermon on the Mount, because the Sermon on the Mount it sets up Christians to think that the bad things that happen to them are either the world persecuting them because they're being a correct and proper Christian, or B, Satan coming after them,
or being punished,
or C, God is punishing you for not being a good enough Christian. And none of these things, you can't tell the difference between them. You can't identify which of them were true at all. When we're talking about unfalsifiable propositions, aren't they just excluding the fourth option out of hand, which is bad things happen? Things are going to happen. Good things, bad things.
Shit happens.
I almost started a Led Zeppelin song there, and they're notoriously prone to suing. So don't sue us, Led Zeppelin. But it would have been good times, bad times. Sorry, somebody would have corrected it eventually. But the thing is, I just look at it as, hey, bad things happen, or things happen and we call them bad, things that are unfortunate, that make us sad, etc. Until there's a demonstration that there's an actual reason, like this bad thing was guided to happen for you, isn't it just far more reasonable to apply Occam's razor and say, you know what, shit happens?
Yeah.
And maybe, rather than looking at it as if somebody encouraged something bad to happen in your life so that you would learn and grow from it, maybe you can still learn and grow from it without thinking it was done specifically to you for that reason.
Try to figure out what happened before that caused it to happen, and try to actually learn about the reality of what's actually happening.
And without digging in, and I don't want to make assumptions about your childhood, we know of kids who are essentially told, oh, you were an accident. You know, like when we got pregnant with your older sibling, we wanted to have kids. You were an accident.
Oh yeah.
That can fuck with a kid's psyche in incredible ways.
Mm-hmm.
It may be that the natural family planning is just a way of saying you were all accidents.
Maybe.
But, you know, we just put it all up in God's hands, so you're all God's gifts. So that maybe you don't have as much. I'm finding something potentially good in it, or at least better than, you know, pointing to one kid and saying you were the accident.
Yeah.
We never wanted you.
Yeah, there's so much there, but that's just where it starts. Like it goes so much deeper than that. But anyway.
Sorry, Vern gave me a cough box, and I should learn to use it. We're gonna take some calls. Who do we want to go to first? Have you got anybody?
Actually, I'm not sure. You go.
All right, we'll go with Ray in Michigan. Thanks for waiting. You are on with Jenna and Matt.
Hi, Ray.
Hi. I'm glad you guys took my call. I just want to thank you, Jenna. I was gonna give up trying to talk to you guys because I kind of was a little long-winded with the person who took the call.
Aww.
But your story really touched me because I'm kind of struggling right now to kind of handle some things with my family.
Okay.
Son is 10 years old, and I was adopted at 10 years old, but I was suicidal at 9 because I had gone through foster care and experienced a lot of abuse. And I was going to commit suicide because I had been raised in a Christian upbringing and thought the best way to connect with an actual father was to just do myself, okay? Fast forward through a rocky marriage and finally figuring out who and what I am, I'm bringing up this beautiful 10-year-old son with Asperger's. And I came out to my mom recently to just let her know that time, and I've pretty much almost all my life, I've pretty much been a pretender. So it was very easy for me to act like, you know, whatever anybody wanted me to be.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Sort of, and I was, you know, kind of going along to get along.
I'm with you.
But I had experienced so much trauma. I've seen the best in people, but I really saw the worst in people, and I longed for acceptance. You know, I found sort of like a cult-like community that seemed to accept me, but I just didn't believe, and because of all of that, and now letting my mother know that my son is going to church with her, and I want for him to have a relationship with his grandmother because she's pushing into her 80s, and she has a lot of health problems, and I want him to have every moment with her. But I don't want him to go through what I went through, that need for acceptance and going through, rejection. I lived a very nomadic life, so I don't get attached to things, but I do get attached to people.
Right.
And I'm always trying to express to my son that, you got to give to live. Life is about giving your time, and, people are not always going to be nice to you, and you can't, you can't expect that people are always going to want to share, but you do your best by them. And everybody's always surprised by me because I'm very extrovert. They're very surprised when I talk to them about being nice and doing the right thing. And then I tell them that, that I'm not a believer. Detroit is one of those, all you need to do is pass a gas station and the next thing you'll see is a church.
Right.
That kind of thing. Okay? Church is on every corner. So my family is very, very evangelical, and I tried. I even played piano and sang in the choir, first soprano. I tried to find some enjoyment, some solace in the church, but there was always that nagging thing. And I cannot pretend anymore. I haven't had very much communication with my family. In fact, the last event that we had together was one of my cousin's parties, and they asked me where I had been. And I just told him, you know what, I've been working, which is basically what I've been doing. I just really didn't share too much, and everybody was like, well, we'll continue to pray for you, which is the most nagging thing that I always hear. I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. Well, the best thing you can do is just be happy for me. I had an argument with my mom, and she basically said, you'd be surprised, all the things God did for me. And I said, you know what? Whatever you think, Mom, I don't believe in God, but I do believe in you, because you're the person who's been there when no one else was. And evidence right in front of me that you are here. And all I want you to know is that I'm here too. And as long as Royal knows that we're there for him, he can run with that. We just have to make sure that we're there for him. So she said to me, basically, she basically told me that she wasn't going to pressure me, and, said, well, maybe I shouldn't take him to church. I said, no, he comes and sees you every weekend. Just let him enjoy himself, but just don't press the gospels on him, because he doesn't have that frame of reference. And we're just trying to bring up this child who wants so much to be accepted, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I don't have much comment other than it may not feel like it, but it seems to me that you're doing fine and doing the right thing. You're being open and honest with the people you care about. You're looking after your son. You're setting boundaries for yourself when it comes to relationships with other people. Apart from, the things we constantly reference, like recovering from religion and a local community that you can interact with, you're just describing...
That man got 4 pair of shoes.
What I think is one of the best ways of dealing with a lot of the same conflict and anxiety that the rest of us deal with regularly too.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're
fuck them
really
super expensive
self-aware,
ass shoes. Fuck
and
that.
it sounds like you pushed through a lot
I wear
of things,
motherfucking.
and I
What is
think
these,
you
some
should give
Skechers?
yourself credit for not
These ain't
giving
even the
up
Skechers.
so many,
These might be
in so many
Perielis.
situations. Like you kept pushing through. I think it's.
I always tell people, I'm sorry, I always tell people I'm a stone roller. Everybody, like, people took a chance on me. I'm willing to take a chance on anybody. I'm a stone roller. I don't just turn over. I don't just.
Years or so. I always tell them, I think it's a huge mistake to do get everybody and sit them all down and say, hey, I've got a big announcement, and come out that way. Instead, just gradually be who you are more and more openly and honestly, because that allows people to become comfortable with, rather than being faced with a massive change and an announcement right off the bat. It lets people become more comfortable with who you are. They're going to eventually ask questions, and you can say, honestly, I'm not really sure what I believe. I'm thinking about things. I'm exploring things. I'm confused about things. And there's a massive amount of stress on me because I've got an entire, class load with school, and maybe I just don't have time to dig in on studying the nuts and bolts of what religion we were raised with to find out if I still accept it. Maybe that's something I'll come back to later on. There's a number of different avenues. None of them require you, and you're never obligated to give somebody an account for who you are. We'll ask one side question. Are your parents paying for your college?
Yes.
Don't tell them.
Till you're done.
Yeah.
I'll take all the hate mail in the world for people saying that I just advocated someone to lie for financial security. Yes, I absolutely did. Because I've seen parents who will continue to support their children and love their children when they come out, but I've also seen people kick their own kids out of their house where we had to relocate them. And that is such a heavy financial burden and risk that it is far better for you to, at some point you're going to have to make a decision. At some point you're going to have to say, is it more important for me that people love me for who I am and that I recognize who I am and I'm okay with it, than it is for us to maintain decorum and in our relationship? Whenever that is, go for it and find yourself a community, find yourself a secular student alliance, find yourself a group. But if you, when I said at the beginning, if you're health, life, financial situation, emotional situation is at great risk, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with you continuing to represent yourself one way as you explore this, because it's not like, you didn't call in and you say, I'm a secret atheist and I have been for years. You're not even sure necessarily how to label yourself. So why would you sabotage everything that you're working for and create more stress and strife? If you want permission from anybody to just lie and focus on you and focus on school, I hereby grant you that permission.
Yeah. But also on a slightly lighter note, you might find out that there's more people in your family that don't believe as well, that haven't come out for the same reasons that you haven't said anything yet. Also, you can try to make it fun if you can. Like, this means that there's a whole new world out there that you get to re-experience, and there's a lot of really cool stuff that I'd never imagined because I was so locked into this see no evil, hear no evil, miss life, everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Probably one of the best things you can do, which we recommend all the time, contact Recovering for Religion, find yourself a secular organization, a peer group with people who might be going through similar things, and have those discussions.
Yeah, I think also a huge factor is just the emotional connection to religion, and like just this morning my mom was watching the sermon on TV, and the beginning of it had the music and the choir, or not choir, just the band singing, and I don't know, I felt emotional, and it made me feel even worse, I guess, because
that's what it's supposed to do. That's what it's designed to do. When I was a Southern Baptist and I stood in church and we sang, I would feel what people would describe as the Holy Spirit. A sensation of elation, goosebumps, shivers, a warmth, this emotional connection. Music does this. Community does this. The group cultural experiences do this. What religions have done is they've co-opted the things that make people feel better and that make people feel connected, and then attributed that to a god. And as it turns out, I've had those same experiences in entirely secular circumstances, and not just like drug-induced or sex-induced, but secular music, secular art. Don't beat yourself up because you felt something. Don't reach a conclusion that because you felt something, therefore what people are saying about what you... Because the only reason I thought it was the Holy Spirit is because everybody around me was saying, oh, it's the Holy Spirit. Well, none of that is proof of what it is. And as soon as you find out that those similar types of experiences can be achieved through things that your religion would discourage, and that's an interesting point. Why on earth are so many religions so down on the other things that provide us community and good experiences that aren't church? That is how a monopoly reacts to competition. And I get that you're going to feel emotional, and there's absolutely nothing wrong or abnormal about that. I just recommend exercising caution about what conclusions you reach based on that, because that is how people are manipulated. It's like, oh, didn't you feel this, when the music started playing? Yeah, I did. And I feel it when Sia sings, too.
So that's the thing, is you can look at your religion and
He
try to look
listens
at
to
the
Sia?
aspects of it that made you feel good, or that you got something out of it, and you can look around and see what can I replace this with? Like, if you like, for example, I was a Catholic, there was this thing that called adoration, where we would go into this room and God was there, and you sit. And it was silent, and I loved it. And then now I meditate. Like, there's a secular version of that I get amazing results after meditating, better than I got from adoration.
What's the biggest thing you're afraid of, Charlotte?
Hell.
I mean, just accepting, like, death, losing all that community. I understand what you guys are saying about, like, finding that sort of spiritual outlet in another place. I haven't really found that yet, so that's also, I've really struggled with that, having, like, kind of, like, that whole...
That's why I got the polo boots with the buckle.
Focus on exploring and finding out who you are, getting comfortable.
Get the buckles, not the zipper.
And the schoolwork that, somebody's paying for and is valuable. and let the rest of it rest.
And realize that you're the one that got you through everything that you thought God got you through. You did that.
Yeah.
You're stronger than you think you are. You are God.
You are God.
Although you need to exercise caution if you're sitting around.
Which God?
It's Christmas dinner and you decide all of a sudden that you've had enough. I wouldn't recommend opening Christmas dinner with "I am God and I denounce yours." So that's probably not the best.
I'm obviously not being literal.
Yeah, it's just so difficult. Like I hear what you guys are saying, and I definitely see it as being a long and difficult road, and just, I don't know, it's hard when I feel separated from my family because of it, and I don't, like, lately, I kind of just don't talk to them very much. And it's hard when I have, like, my younger brother come up to me and ask me to pray for him or something like that, and it's just, I'll say yes, and I kind of, but I still just, I don't know, I feel...
Just be available, be an example, be available if they have any questions, and just show them that you love them and you're there for them, and you're not any different than you were before. You're the same person.
I'll tell you this, in many situations, while certainly religious parents are concerned about the faith and beliefs of their children, they're far more concerned with, is everything all right? And so, as difficult as it is, if you put yourself in this position where you're speaking to them less and less, and you look and appear more guarded or defensive, their mind's going to go to all kinds of places about what's wrong or what's changed about our daughter, or what's going on.
You'd think so.
Yeah, but it didn't happen with me.
I would have thought that they would think, like, lately that something was really wrong. Like, just like a week or so ago, I had to leave a class because of heart palpitations. Like, all of this, the compounded stress of, like, an imposter and hiding all these things and having so many thoughts, and then also school and stress. Mm-hmm. It's been so much on me, and I already have anxiety.
Are you in counseling and treatment at all?
I've seen people before, and I haven't been to a counselor in a really long time, like a couple years, and I keep asking my parents, and I think they just see the failed example of it, of me having gone through it and it not worked, and say, oh, it didn't work, so...
Do they have an alternate suggestion? I mean, is it like, it didn't work, so just pray? Or is it just like, it didn't work, so we're not doing that?
I mean, I've also seen a hypnotherapist, and I don't know if what you guys would think of that as...
I'm incredibly opposed to hypnotherapists because the record shows that, well, first of all, hypnosis is essentially two people agreeing to play act. I'm not going to sit here as if I'm an expert on the therapeutic aspect. It's just that I know that it has been misused many times. That's how we get to, false memory syndrome and past life regression, all this other stuff. I will partially retract my don't tell them guidance there, because you're in a situation where not telling them is adding stress, and the stress seems to partially be based on the possibility of what might happen if you do tell them. And so I think probably the first thing for you is, we've mentioned recovering from religion, but probably more importantly is the Secular Therapist Project, to reach out there and see if you can find someone who's going to give you good science-based counseling tips to deal with your issues. And when people push and ask for you to engage in conversations, you are always able to just say, I'm not in a good headspace to do that. I'm not comfortable talking about that right now. Let's just shelve that and deal with it some other time. I need some time and some space to do this. You've got to take care of you first.
Absolutely. And getting through college, getting through today. That's the thing. Getting through today is the most important thing.
Yeah,
That's
hard. I know, because you're so worried about everything that's gonna happen, and I know it's hard not to worry about that stuff, but just try to focus on what you have to do today, and then tomorrow, focus on what you have to do tomorrow, and if this becomes an issue, I mean, hopefully you've talked to enough people by then that you have kind of an idea of how you want to handle it, but ultimately you'll handle it the way you feel is right at the time.
Yeah.
Trust yourself.
That's even harder.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I really, you're gonna need to find some friends, some community there that you're comfortable talking with, and I know for people suffering from anxiety, saying, "Oh my gosh, I've got to go out and deal with other people." That's I don't have enough spoons for that. It's difficult advice.
But you're in a place where there's so many different kinds of people. If you're in a college, there's got to be so many different kinds of people that you could probably go to different groups and try to find maybe just a couple people that you can kind of claim as yours. Just kind of build your own community over time.
You'd be surprised. I go to an art school, so
oh really?
It's a lot of like-minded people, but
okay.
Definitely but at the same time, like they're the same sort of people, and most people are skeptical, and
that's good.
most people are accepting of almost everyone. My friends, I think, are part of the reason why I've been able to like come to terms with things, because I feel like I have them, and that they'll always understand, and
they can be your family too.
That's great.
Yeah.
Building, all of us would like to be loved and appreciated for who we are.
Right.
And nobody wants to be fake. Everybody, most people, are a little bit chameleon-like at different times. You're going to, it's not even a matter of dishonesty. It's a matter of
adaptation.
Yeah, but also keeping the peace, I guess, is sort of the thing. When I talked earlier about how I was different talking with my grandmother, I was different talking with my mother than I would be generic person on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, we talked about a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of avenues. I hope that you find this useful, and that it helps you become more comfortable with the decisions you make. But by all means, you can email us at tv@atheist-community.org. There are people on the Discord server that you can potentially talk to, but at least reach out. If you make a decision or something fundamentally changes, if you discover something important about yourself and who you are, you find something that was beneficial to you going through this, call back in and share that, because you're not the only. There's 1,000 people sitting out there right now listening to your story and saying, "That's me. Mm-hmm. That's me right now," because it was her a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much. It really helps to have, I don't know, hear from someone, especially having watched the show, and like help. I mean, I feel like the show has helped me kind of open my eyes towards religion and look at things in a different way. And I hope I wasn't too, I don't know, scatterbrained during the call.
No, you were absolutely fine. Also, as a side note,
I was literally shaking.
Oh, it's okay.
It's completely normal. As a side note, on Thursdays, the Atheist Community of Boston produces a show called Secular Sexuality.
Yeah.
That might be worth calling in and talking about, especially as it relates to the issues that you were having with, curiosity about your own sexuality or whatever else.
Yeah. They're really good too.
Great resource there.
Get to talk to G.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We produce a whole bunch of shows. It's called Secular Sexuality, and it broadcasts live on Thursday nights at 7. And I don't know, Mark will probably put information up, not on this screen, or maybe on this screen, but at least down here. You can also email tv@atheist-community.org, and we'll do a better job of getting people information. But thanks a lot for the call, Charlotte, and I hope that you get some peace and less stress, and that it all works out.
Good luck with everything, Charlotte.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too.
Okay. It's
Two calls in.
It's the Help People Day.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah,
So
I like it.
Atheist Community of Austin is a nonprofit educational foundation serving the separation of religion and government. And, you know, while we'll talk about, you know, atheist normalcy and secularism and skepticism and humanism, one of the things is that the Atheist Experience, this show, has been on for 23 years. I think I've done it for 15, something like that. And the perception of this show from a lot of people, because they've watched clips, is, oh, some theist is going to call in and Matt's going to yell at him and no, you're done, and hang up, and or it's just all about arguing about God. We're just arguing about God all the time. Why do we got to keep arguing about God? Isn't that a dead issue? Or you can't prove a negative or whatever else. I'm proud of the fact that the Atheist Community of Austin is producing content that goes beyond just a call-in show where we argue about people's beliefs. Not only do we have the Atheist Experience and Talk Heathen, which was on earlier, Atheist Vanguard that was on between, but Secular Sexuality and Truth Wanted, and a number of other shows. There you go.
Yeah.
There's Thursdays at 7 p.m. The phone number is 512-686-0279, the exact same number you would call into this program, and it streams out on Thursdays.
Yeah, check it out.
Sweet. Where you got anybody in particular that you saw on the line we should go to next?
Danny.
Danny in London, how are you?
Hi, Danny.
Hey, Jenna, thank you for having me back.
Absolutely.
You can hear me okay?
We can.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in London on Friday.
I heard. I thought you were in Cambridge at some point.
I will be. I'm arriving. I haven't looked at the flights. I'll be arriving and checking into a hotel on the edge of London, and then I think I'm going to be doing Justin Brierley's podcast that day.
Okay.
And then the next day, the 14th, is Cambridge.
Ah.
But I will be in and around London for at least a few hours and the first night.
Okay. Is it like you're doing a speaking event on the Saturday? Is it like in the evening or something?
The Cambridge Skeptic Society's 10th anniversary event, I think it is a number of speakers over the course of the day, if I'm recalling it correctly. I really should know since this was my last show before I leave. But anyway, what have you got for us, Danny?
Okay. Well, I was a big. I still am a fan of the show because I do skepticism, and I was a big anti-theist for many years, up until about a year ago, and I am now a believing person.
Well, what convinced you? I mean, because as a skeptic, my view is that, you know, I'm happy to change my mind once there's good reason for it.
Yes. Yeah. For me, it's the connection between a few different things. I want to be honourable to the person I spoke to on the phone and stick to the thing I said I was going to speak to, unless I had your permission to kind of waffle about. But I think I waffled last time I called in, and me and Don ended up getting down a rabbit hole on one little element of the claim that the God of Abraham makes. And the thing that sticks out to me that makes it extraordinary is the connection between the claims and the way that the claims interact with each other. So, for example, you know, the world will bless themselves by your forefathers, and therefore they will know, I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. But they're going to despise, they're not going to join you, which you think they will, because, you know, Matthew is technically a Jewish name, and they're
why would you think they would?
God. Well, think about, I mean, because you're going to be blessed. You know, I'm God. I'm going to bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. So if you're a 15th
right, but we're talking about it. We're talking. Forgive me for a second. So look at, like, let's say I'm assuming that you don't think the Earth is flat.
You know.
Okay. Would you at least acknowledge that the flat earthers are having conferences? There's more and more people involved, and that they will say things like, look at them mocking us, they're not going to join us, and then they tie that as if the reason that they're being mocked is because of a conspiracy. If you were going to try to convince people to adhere to something, and you knew that this was going to be something that people would deride, then it seems that one prophylactic to alleviate that suspicion, this is how cons work, is to say, hey, people are going to, you know, mock you for this belief, and they're not going to agree with you, but that just shows that you're sincere and that you're doing it right.
I hear you. Yet this actually happens in the opposite, in the sense that they will bless themselves through they will bless themselves through your forefathers. It's like the flat earther saying the world will bless themselves through our work. And our God says, I will curse those who curse you and bless those who bless you. And imagine being an early Gentile recipient of the Jewish texts, right, in certain parts of Europe. And you're kind of thinking, if you're going to leave your pagan world, unless you really, really, really like your bacon, you're probably going to go, actually, yeah, I kind of want to be at the core of that. Because supposedly you're my treasure, and so it's kind of different in that respect. But you're going to remain few in number, and they'll despise and persecute you.
But there are people
contradictory.
There are people flocking to the flat Earth movement. There are probably, based on some statistics I recently saw, probably more people who question whether the Earth is round or argue that believe that the Earth is flat than there are open atheists that use the atheist label. So it's you have an idea.
I think that's a bit of a straw man, and I don't want to just use that term because the people that are flocking to
it's not a straw man
movement.
It's not a straw man. If you're so here's the thing. It doesn't matter. Flat Earth, Jesus, Yahweh, whatever. Here's an idea.
Stick to your example.
What I'm saying is, here's an idea. Some people are going to convert to it, and that's what's happened with Christianity. It went from a few like 10 or 8 apostles running around to the largest, or perhaps second largest, depending on how you're going to measure it, religion on the planet.
Abrahamic monotheism is it's 50% of the. I guess even though the babies are included in that, right?
Well, I would argue that a good chunk of the Abrahamic religions aren't in fact monotheism. I don't think Judaism is monotheistic. But
okay, well
that's an argument about what to call it. What I'm saying is, here's an idea. It grows really quickly. It expands. There are people who come in there. It just makes sense that we're not ever going to be in a position where everybody's going to accept a thing. Mm-hmm. People don't need to accept the fact that we've been to the moon or anything like that. So it's not surprising. Hey, people are going to mock you for this. And then when they get mocked,
it's not the same, Matt. Sorry.
Hang on.
Matt,
No. Let me fucking finish. It's not surprising that people are going to say, hey, people are going to mock you for this. And when the mocking happens, people will take that as affirmation of a prediction when there's no evidence that there's a prediction made that came true in any remarkable sense. So if there's nothing remarkable about it, I don't know why you would use it as if it were remarkable.
Because they're the same people. The people who are following it are the people who are not mocking it, but persecuting them. It's the same people. The people will follow your God, and they will despise and persecute you. I do believe that your example isn't actually applicable.
First of all, I need you to explain that a little bit more, but I don't see how that's a rebuttal at all.
You're making the statement that some people will ahead of time say, hey, I have this idea, and to make it easier on ourselves and our in-group, hey, there are going to be people who mock us. Right? It's like a kind of a political thing. They're going to be, we're on the in-group, there are going to be people on the out-group, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're saying. But that Moses, or in fact it's claimed to be the God of Abraham himself, so it hinges even more, actually says, the world will bless them. They will follow your God. They will follow they will follow it. They will bless themselves by your forefathers. But they will persecute you. It's the same people. It's as if to say the Flat Earth Society says, those are people the world will to believe in you, right? Which isn't true because they're not actually saying.
Well, it's growing. The world hasn't come to believe anything.
I'm sure you agree. It's okay to make a hyperbole.
Sure, but also you're ignoring. You are selectively ignoring and dismissing the fact that this is also unremarkable. There are thousands of denominations of Christianity.
got it.
So fucking what? That doesn't matter. It's talking. It doesn't. It doesn't. No.
All right, guys.
It matters so much.
It is. Oh, it's not as late as I thought it was. It's just dark as hell early. I got out of work a little bit early because I get normally only work like a half a day on Fridays.
This is not remarkable, Danny.
Yeah.
If you'd let me finish. If you'd let me finish.
I normally work half a day on Fridays, but this Friday I'm getting paid to work. I mean, well, I'm still gonna work a half day, but I get paid for the whole day because it's like a work holiday. It's our annual end of the year like brunch get together for our organization, because in the next couple weeks everybody's going to be using their vacation time and leaving, and the office isn't going to be really packed after this week. And so they're throwing a little brunch for everybody at this really nice posh upscale restaurant on the top of the mountain Friday coming. And I mean, even though we're just going up there to eat and then go home, they still pay us for the whole day. Bam! So I'm like, damn. But I can only, like, we have to do our own time, and I can only have so many hours a week. So if I get paid for a whole day on Friday, that means I got to leave early today, because I can't go over my hours. So I got to go home now at 2 o'clock. I was out of there. You know, I left like 2:30 or something. I love that shit though. But now, I need to I got clothes in the wash that I put in there before I went to work. Put them in the dryer, and I got another load of clothes to wash. And then my main thing is finding what the fuck I'm gonna eat for dinner, because I'm getting hungry. And I did not take anything out of the freezer. If I'm getting paid for the whole day Friday, I don't need to be here all day today. I'm gonna go over my hours. Toodaloo. So, it feel like it's late to me though. Can't go over the hours, y'all. Tomorrow is Wednesday, my late day. I gotta I think I only got like tuna and salmon. Bruh, I might do the same thing just with different fish, but I might have me some goddamn salmon, some red beans and rice, some cornbread. Yo, already dark. Ugh. I definitely. That's why I gotta get this shit started now, man, because I'm losing energy, man. I'm feeling drained right now. I gotta go ahead and get this shit done before I fall asleep on the empty stomach. If anything, man, me and D1, we probably be on some games later on some Rare Dead Redemption, man. I might stream that shit later on tonight. If not, I see y'all. Damn, not tomorrow. Or Friday. Might stream something on Saturday. See y'all later. Rice and beans. Everybody got rice and beans.